We will begin the session with again chanting of Omkara thrice. Take a comfortable position, eyes are gently closed. Inhale. 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 Let us chant Asatoma Sadgamaya together. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gently, you may open the eyes. Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. The text chosen for this retreat is unique, is Astavakra Gita. Sometimes not so popular. Bhagavad Gita continues to be one of the most popular Vedanta texts across regions. In fact, it's a surprising fact that one should know. There was never any big formal effort made to popularize Bhagavad Gita. It just happened to be popular. There were always Vedas, there were Upanishads, but at some point in time, the vision of Gita became so popular that today, that is, this particular text is known throughout the world. Also, usually colonial scholarship, which was there in India, was trying to study religion. They noticed that Christianity has one book, Bible, Islam has one book, Quran. So what is one book for Hinduism? In fact, there is no one book for Hinduism. But they wanted to put Hinduism also in that shoes. So with lot of effort, they were finding out which is the book, which is one book, which is one book. Some scholars must have presented Bhagavad Gita, and Hinduism was associated with this book, Bhagavad Gita. Nothing wrong, rightfully so, because the Gita contains the entire vision, thought of Sanatana Dharma. So Bhagavad Gita became even more popular after the commentary of Adi Shankaracharya. And in the modern period, there was not much interest again paid to Bhagavad Gita. It was Pujya Gurudev, Swami Chinmayanandaji, which again took Bhagavad Gita, the vision of Bhagavad Gita, to masses. He taught the vision to one and all. Thus, Bhagavad Gita became even more popular as a Vedanta text. The text here is Astavakra Gita, a conversation between sage Astavakra and King Janaka. There are a lot of stories associated with this text, how this text came up. One of the stories is that Janaka was having an afternoon nap and he dreamt that he has lost the entire kingdom, and then he is running for his life in extreme poverty, seeking water. So with a thud, Janaka wakes up in the noon, and this incident has started profound questions in him, and he goes silent for many days. The ministers got enthusiasm. So that gave rise to the Astavakra Gita, the Samvada between Janaka and Astavakra. So Astavakra comes to the court of Janaka and asks Janaka what's happening. Janaka says his dream and says, I am this king of Mithila, but in the dream I was a poor person who had lost everything. Which is real? I being the king, is that real? Or me being a poor peasant running for his life in the dream, is that real? Astavakra looks at Janaka and says, both are unreal. So that's the radical teaching of Astavakra that we will examine through a few verses. Another story associated, Astavakra, Ashta means 8, Vakra means deformity. Somebody who had deformity in 8 places in his body, very symbolically presented that one who has transcended the body. Just doesn't matter how the body is, because that person is operating at a very different realm. The body is no obstacle. Somebody who has transcended the body. Just as Stephen Hawking's, his physical condition and his insights had no relationship, as though somebody who has transcended the body. So in modern day sage, we can see Stephen Hawking's as if a modern Astavakra had tremendous insights about the universe. As a scientist, Astavakra has tremendous insights about the inner life and the inner world that we have. Astavakra comes to the court of Janaka, and all the people seated in the court start laughing because of his deformity. Very bad thing to do. Astavakra immediately says, oh, I heard that there were great scholars in the court of Janaka. Alas, I find only leather merchants sitting here who are interested only in my skin. So, with that radical voice, Astavakra teaches the Vedanta. The approach of Astavakra is quite different, like that of Bhagavad Gita. Shri Krishna, of course, in 2nd chapter gives the highest teaching of Vedanta. Post that, he also holds the hands of Arjuna and takes him step by step to see the vision. Meanwhile, Krishna stands and addresses the immediate problem that Arjuna is facing, like that of facing his relatives in the context of war, all of it in the context of Bhagavad Gita. But in Astavakra Gita, Astavakra, it's like Ramana Maharshi's teaching. Whatever you ask Maharshi, he will only say, inquire into who am I. Inquire into one who is having this problem. Inquire into the nature of that person in whom this question is arising. Similarly, Astavakra, in this manner, this text has a very unique approach doesn't discuss sadhanas, doesn't discuss preparedness. It directly gives you the truth. Now you deal with it. It's not my job to sugarcoat the truth. Astavakra says, it is up to you to learn to digest the truth. You rise up. You rise up to the occasion. How long will you keep on lamenting about the problems of life? How long will you lament that I am not ready? How long do you consider yourself as anadhikari, one who is not yet prepared? Come on, it's only one life. Prepare yourself for it. Swamiji, what are you saying? One life. In Hinduism, we have multiple chances, isn't it so? Yeah, but who knows? One can but directly, what is there in your direct experience? This life. What about past, future? Who knows? But what you know for sure, that you're living, breathing, living this life here and now. Let us be free here and now. That's the approach of Astavakra. So the unique thing about this text, or something different about this text, doesn't take us through the sadhanas to prepare the mind. The assumption is that you are prepared. If you have noticed in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, this vidya should not be given to a person who is not prepared. Pujya Swamiji, when he was giving commentary or explaining this verse, he said, how do I know who is prepared and who is not prepared? Can I keep on examining each person who is prepared? That's the assumption with which I start. There is no other way for me to teach except assuming that you are ready to receive. So Astavakra speaks to us in this manner. In that way, Astavakra Gita is a Nididhyasana text. He is applying the final strokes of hue or paint on a painting. It's like, in the traditional architecture of Hinduism, the entire deity, the Vigraha, is all sculpted, but only final touches to the eyeball will be remaining. That they won't do in their workshop. They'll bring the deity on site, they'll place it in the Garbhagriha, they study it, they properly fix it, then as the last step in the ritual, a golden needle or a golden equipment is taken, and then the eyes are given final strokes and the eyes are opened. Astavakra does that to us. And I know all of you have been studying Vedanta here in Arshavidya Center with Vijayji and many teachers from Arshavidya Sampradaya, that this text will be something valuable, I suppose. So that's the style of Astavakra, where he employs the method of Sakshat Upadesha. Sakshat Tattvamasiti Veda Vachasa, like that of Dakshinamurti, who directly opens her eyes to the truth. The style is Sakshat Upadesha, direct teaching. That's what Astavakra employs. And in fact, if you Acharya who has given us Mandukya Karika, if you see the Mandukya Karika, again the style varies. It comes to Sakshat Upadesha, direct teaching of Ajatavada, of very high teaching of Vedanta. So we can place this text around the era of grand guru of Adi Shankaracharya, Gaudapadacharya. That's the era in which this text gets featured. Now Astavakra is only interested in negating the false and making us see the truth. He gives no place to intermediary steps or stages of inquiry that we place, as I said, and we will see that in this particular text. Let us dive into the text. Let us dive into the inquiring of the first verse. You may repeat after me. Astavakra uvacha Yasya bodhodaye tavat Yasya bodhodaye tavat Swapnavad bhavati brahmaha Swapnavad bhavati brahmaha Tasmai sukhaika rupaya Tasmai sukhaika rupaya Namah Shantaya Tejase Namah Shantaya Tejase. Every text starts with a prayer onto the Guru or Govinda, etc. But Astavakra doesn't really start with a prayer. He is offering salutations, Namaha, but to whom? He says, Namaha, salutations, Namah Shantaya Tejase. I offer my salutations, prostrations to consciousness alone, to that self-effulgent consciousness. I offer prostrations. I bow down before the truth. I do not bow down before anything else except the truth. I bow down before consciousness. In fact, if we examine our life, we bow down to only false. We seldom put effort to bow down before truth. Because one thing we have to know, truth more often disturbs us. We think truth comforts us. Yes, ultimately it comforts us. But the first thing the truth does is the truth disturbs us. In fact, if it is truth, it should disturb us. If you are studying Vedanta for years and not getting disturbed from Vedanta, then you are doing it wrong. You are in a new comfort zone where you are listening to Vedanta like that you listen to South Indian music. Kacheri after kacheri, concert after, and say, oh wow, she sang very well. Anushka Shankar, Siddharth performance was extremely well. How she played, oh my God, amazing. Similarly, you attend class after class of Swamis and you say, wow, this Swami teaches very well. That Swami teaches very well. This Swamiji says like this. That too now with the YouTube era. You have the plethora of Swamis coming and sitting right at your dining table as you are chopping beans and vegetables. Previously I had to go to Rishikesh not knowing where it was and put effort to meet Swami Dayananda Saraswati and hear to the teachings and all of it. Now Swami Dayananda Saraswati comes to your living room. Or he is talking as even you are running on the treadmill. Or as even you are eating breakfast. Oh my God. Pujya Swamiji was very much aware of all this. Once he said, I know all of you are listening to me on the tapes, sitting, walking, driving, etc. My request is, don't pull me to the bathroom. Don't take Vedanta to bathroom, please. The teaching works when we do not compromise on the reverence that we give to this teaching. Yes, casual listening is fine, driving, walking, sitting, all of it, but you must put some dedicated effort, dedicated time to just listening without multitasking. That becomes very important sadhana that we do. Coming back to the point, truth disturbs us initially. In fact, truth should disturb us initially. Then alone we will reorient our life to match the truth. Otherwise, we will discover a new comfort zone, which is falsity. We take comfort in the false. Truth must disturb us. You look into the label of anything, it should disturb us. Facts should disturb us so that we reorient ourselves to that which is true. And we bow down to the truth. We should not try to pull the truth to our level. Rather, effort should be made to rise up to the level of the truth. That we bow down only before truth. And Astavakra says, I bow down to that jnani, to that consciousness which is self-effulgent. So he is offering namaskaram, salutation, tasmai sukhaika rupaya, onto that consciousness whose nature is sukha or ananda. Happiness, joy, absolute. I bow down to that, Astavakra is saying. Before that, the first part of the verse itself is very, very interesting. This entire Jagat will become a Brahma, a dream-like entity when, how? Upon the rise of knowledge. Bodhodaye. Once there is the sun of knowledge which has taken birth, as if a dream-like. Astavakra is making very, very radical statement at the onset of this text itself. A question may come now, why this focus on bodha? As sadhana by itself, nothing wrong with it. But the level at which we are discussing, the rope snake example, that we cannot do Vedanta, that snake is a rope snake. Okay? Suppose you see a snake, but you do not know at that point that it is a rope snake, but you are seeing a snake. Now you want to eliminate the snake, isn't it so? Now what shall we do? Shall we chant Sarpa mantra for that snake mantra for that snake to go away? Shall we start chanting it? Yes, we can chant, no problem. Will that snake go away by 1001 times or 108 times of Sarpa mantra? Yes or no? Please show some signs of life. No? It won't go. What if you call a priest and do one Sarpa Homa? You do one fire ritual to eliminate that snake. Would that snake go? It won't go. Shall we go on a pilgrimage and come back so that snake would go? No, it won't go. What else shall we try? Shall we meditate for the snake to go? Would it go? Shall we awaken the inner snake Kundalini for the snake to go? Would it go? It wouldn't go. Then what would make a rope snake go? What would make it? Just switch on the light and see what is really, then the rope snake disappears. What you see in its place is just the rope. snake disappears. Upon what? Upon right seeing, samyak darshana, upon jnanam of what is. By understanding the real nature of this appearance, alone that rope snake would go. No amount of any other effort would eliminate rope snake. So Vedantins must be clear about the place of Bodha in the whole scheme of things. Why we say the problem of samsara, reality of oneself, and the samsara or the world that we are calling. What we are calling the world as samsara. It would go only upon the Bodha, meaning real or true understanding of the nature of the world. Then alone that samsara disappears. No other effort would take away. Then what use of all the sadhanas? Preparation of the mind that you know of. So Vedantins have to be very, very, very clear about this fact. Bodha alone will shatter our illusion. Shattering of illusion, all our wrong conclusions, all our wrong perceptions will happen spontaneously at the understanding of the truth. At the understanding of the truth. In fact, this is not really a step-by-step process. It seems like a step-by-step process, but once you are ready, this understanding is instantaneous and immediate. Instantaneous and immediate. I'll give you all another example from real life situation. How the shattering of illusion is instantaneous, not something step-by-step process. An Indian example, some of you might have faced it, some of you might not have any clue what I am talking about. Indian context, 2-3 brothers are in a large joint family having ancestral wealth. All these 3 brothers are like Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, extremely nice to each other. They celebrate all the festivals together. They're there for each other, all of it. One fine day, the younger brother taken my signatures in the some context and has taken away all the all the Indians will definitely know this. Or if not your own experience, somebody in your family experience. What happens at that instance? What does this younger brother feel? In a moment, he understands that 25 years of this relationship, where we celebrated every festival, where they attended all the weddings and functions together, they participated in the prayers together, they did holiday together, all of it was an illusion. It was fake. Does he get the glimpse of all this instantaneously, or does he go step by step? At an instant, isn't it so? The illusion that my brothers love me, that illusion shatters in no time. That they have cheated me. Upon recognition of this truth, the samsara or his imagination of this relationship, care, love, support, all of it has shattered at an instance. Similar thing happens in Vedanta. Upon knowing the truth of Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, upon knowing the truth of oneself, upon inquiring the real nature of the world, the end becomes dream-like once you wake up to the truth. Yasya bodhodaye tavat swapnavat bhavati brahmaha. He is calling the universe, he is not even calling the universe as Jagat. He is calling it as Brahma. We call it the world, he calls it delusion. He calls seeing a world in its place. He's seeing a large delusion, collective delusion that we are all part of. That we are all part of. Some time back, in my younger days, I saw a movie by Jim Carrey, I think. He is part of a reality show, kind of a, what is that? Truman. So he is part of a reality show, and one day he starts noticing patterns. What is this? Every time I enter this street, everybody greets me. Every time I move here, this happens. Oh, there must be something to it. At one instance, he recognizes it, and that moment he takes no time to be as a participant in that illusion. He just walks out. He just walks out. So, similarly, a jnani sees this entire Jagat as like the Truman movie set. Does anything that we do ultimately have any meaning and sense? Does it have any sense, any meaning? If you fundamentally inquire into it, we find no purpose, no meaning in all that we do. Lifetime was spent in taking care of the kids. One fine day you realize you are on your own. What's the connection of all the effort? Is this, that, what we do? So much effort is taken to establish security in life. A house, some investment, some savings, a job, this, that, and all of it. All the insurance in place. And yet, you find yourself to be insecure at times. What is the purpose and meaning in living such a life? All of it. So, Astavakra is not calling this world as something which is having all in beautiful order, everything smoothly operating, everybody tending to each other, this and that, sunrise, sunset, seasons, rain, seems to be like a pattern. Of course, you can see a pattern. Just because there is a pattern, that doesn't mean that it has some great purpose and meaning. Superficially alone, you can find meaning and meaning, beauty and pattern. Ultimately, it is the pattern of the Truman set. Simply, there is a sunrise, sunset, seasons change. This, that. All of it for what? Ultimately, if you deeply inquire, is just a Brahma. No. It's like this, Puja Swamiji used to refuse to go outside of his home. And the child was asked this question, why you don't want to go out? The child felt that it is a cat, and if it goes out, dogs will attack. So, the child was given mantra, pilgrimage, prayers at the family deity, all that happened. And after that, a wise person was called to address this child, and that wise person put a mirror in front of the child and asked the child, who do you see here? The child said, I see me, this person so and so with this height and everything. Do you see a cat? He asked. The child said, no, I don't see a cat, I see this person. So the wise person told him, you're not the cat, you are this boy, you are this person. So everybody were happy. Finally, this guy is convinced that he is not a cat, he is this person. So they thought this child would go out and play from this day. The child did not, would again refuse to go out. Again this person was called to address this child. So they asked the child, hey, you were convinced that you are not the cat. Why are you refusing to go out and play? The child said, I know that I am not the cat. How do the dogs on the street know that I am not the cat? This is the Vedantin's problem. I can see it as delusion. How will others? Why do you want others to see? You see it clearly, that's enough. You see it for yourself, that's clear, that's enough. You don't have to be a Vedantic missionary to convert everybody to see the truth, shatter the illusion. Swapnavad bhavati brahmaha. Upon this rise of this knowledge that the truth of this entire Jagat is but consciousness, everything is an appear dream-like. Once you wake up to the truth, there is no dream, isn't it? So when does the dream end? When you wake up, the dream ends. And should a waker carry the residue of the dream? Should a waker carry the residue of the dream? No. In fact, unfortunately, so many people do not even give up the dream. Arey appa, dream is over, let go of the dream. No, they carry the dream. Oh, I saw a snake in the dream. Swamiji, what should I do? I said nothing, wash your face. See, if you see the fallacy or the ignorance with which so many people conduct their lives, they are not even ready to forget about waking state. They are not even ready to give up what they see in the dream. They carry the dreams to the waking state and say, now let us analyze the dream. That's why we have a field, dream analyzers. Here also are there, and then there also. Portland, I find that there are a lot of these dream readers and etc. You go to Portland and then ask, this is what I saw in the dream, what do you do? Then they will say, then one shaman kind of person or some monk or somebody will read your dreams. For what? We are so conditioned that we are not even ready to wake up from the dream. And what to talk about real waking up? What to talk about real waking up? So Astavakra is presenting to us that upon this understanding of the truth of oneself, we come out of Brahma. What is that Brahma? Let us start analyzing from the individual level. That I am a personality is a Brahma. That I am a person is a Brahma. That I am so and so is a Brahma. You see, in Vedanta we have a matrix or a thumb rule to analyze. That which changes is unreal. You can repeat. That which changes is unreal. That which changes is unreal. That which does not change is real. Agree or disagree? Okay, Swamiji, real and unreal becomes complex words. Can you simplify it further? That which changes is temporary. That which does not change is permanent. Are you interested in temporary or permanent? As students of Vedanta, they are trying to find permanency in jobs. There's nothing called permanency in the jobs. They're trying to find permanency in kids. Yeah, you can find permanency. You will be a permanent babysitter. Yeah, anything can change at any moment. So Vedantins are interested in permanent. And furthermore, we add one more layer to it. That which is permanent is real. Now, let us examine this body. Constantly changing. But yet, there is some thinking process where we want this body to be permanent. Where we want it to be permanent. That is a Brahma. That's a Brahma. This body, we are in a big delusion. Why this body? We are in a big delusion. Why? Because that which is constantly changing, that which is impermanent, we are seeking permanency in it. The moment you understand this fallacy and that I, the witness of this body, alone is permanent, unchanging, this body is constantly changing, thus impermanent, thus temporary, then and there you come out of this delusion, Brahma, of maintaining permanency in the body. Now a question may arise, are we advocating a living where we don't care for the body? No, that's not what we are saying. That's not what I am saying. Understand the fundamental fact that no amount of effort will change the fact that the body is temporary. Its various conditions are constantly changing. That's a Brahma. Once you change your location from the body to the observer of the body, from Drishya, once you locate yourself in Drik, there you find permanency here and now. That which is a witness to all modifications and changes of the body is here and now. And yasya bodhodaye, upon the rise of this right knowledge that I am consciousness, I am the conscious witness of all states of the body, swapnavat bhavati brahma. This Brahma, delusion of thinking that body is a permanent entity, body is continuous, we fall out of this delusion. We fall out of this delusion. Tasmai sukhaika rupaya namashantaya tejase. Onto that sukhaika rupaya, onto that consciousness whose nature is but true happiness, purnata, completeness. The other substitute for sukha is purnatvam, completeness. Because sometimes when we state, in fact, the cultures, suppose you are eating some very nice food and a host comes and asks, how is it? They have already that dish in the mouth, its mouth is full, they just show through this gesture. Meaning what? It's complete. This dish is complete. I don't need anything else. This dish is complete. Purnata is just that recognition of that fact that I lack nothing. Body has a lot of lack. Go stand in front of the mirror, we will find all the lack that the body lacks, plus or minus that the body needs. But you disidentify and locate yourself as Drik, the consciousness, then there is no lack whatsoever. There is no lack whatsoever. So, what really changes upon the dawn of knowledge? Does the world change? No. Still everything outside will seem as it is. What has changed is your perception of the entire world. The reality that you had given to the world, you withdraw. Thus, it's no longer a source of botheration. No longer it holds any power to emotionally attract you or emotionally dispel you. It holds no power. come back to the example of the brothers. What changes upon this recognition of this fact? This whole relationship was fake. Do the brothers as the individuals, body-wise, do they change? No. But your perception of that entire relationship has changed. Now you will interact with, that younger brother probably will interact with the brothers the way he wants. He wants to cut off, he cuts off. If there is a need to still transact, he transacts. It's his choice, because he is no longer dependent on them for his well-being, or he is no longer deriving joy or comfort or permanency or a sense of security out of this relationship. Similarly, a Vedantin, understanding this body to be just a Brahma, no longer seeks security from the body, no longer seeks comfort from the body. One understands that one is complete, with or without a certain state of the body. That's what happens. You understand that I was always complete. I am always complete. As the consciousness, as Drik, I am always complete. I am ever complete. I lack nothing. It's only at the realm of the body. One step further you come and identify with the body, you find all the lack. You find all the lack. That's what Astavakra is telling. He's inspiring us to shatter the illusion all at once. All at once. By placing this entire manifold Jagat as Drishyam, something outside of you, including the body, mind, sense complex. Who are you? Who am I? I am Sukhaika Rupa. I am that one consciousness, silent witness to everything. Silent witness to everything. Namashantaya Tejase. I am that Shantaha. I bow down to that Shantaha, a symbolic language. Now you don't ask a question, who is bowing down to whom? Namashantaya Tejase. We'll repeat the verse. Yasya bodhodaye tavat swapnavad bhavati brahmaha tasmai sukhaika rupaya namah shantaya tejase namah shantaya tejase. More nuances about this verse to be discussed, we will discuss in the next class after a break. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.